Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Angel Healing House Radio. My name is Candy Hough. Through my business, Angel Healing House, which can be found at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a writer and an author, an international radio host, a Reiki master teacher, and an angel practitioner. My inspirational books entitled Angels of Faith and One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, are based on my recollections of our life in spirit, and they help us to remember our divine, eternal natures. Through Angel Healing House, I help people to let go of sadness, anger, bitterness, resentment, and regret that has kept them locked in the prison of the past, and I help them to let go of worry, stress, and control, which has kept them focused on an imagined future. And once they are no longer living in the past or the future, they can start to live in the present moment, which is the only place that they can experience synchronicities, miracles, and magic. As an angel practitioner, I help people to see their lives from a higher perspective with the help of an extraordinary group of angels who call themselves the Posse of Angels. Just like my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, I'm very excited to take some of your calls for that free angel advice. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. But before we get to those callers, welcome everyone to Angel Healing House Radio with me, Candy Hough. And welcome to almost the last day of January 2018. Wow, it just seems like it was yesterday that we were all celebrating on December 31st, celebrating the new year in, and here it is, a month already gone. You know, with this vital new year, and I do say it is vital because 2018, you take the 2 and the 1 and the 8, you add them together, and it is an 11 number. Now, 11 years are for those conscious, awakened souls to master themselves. Now, the Posse of Angels, my angelic family, and I have presented topics all of this month of January 2018 that will help all of us to step into our roles of being master creators, master innovators on this planet, as we're mastering ourselves so that we can lead by example in order to serve in very fresh new ways for our soul's greatest growth and the benefit for our beloved planet Earth. And although many of us started the year out with really great intentions, the Posse of Angels can already sense that some of us are pulling back and we're curbing our enthusiasm as we are formulating excuses. We're stopping ourselves from fully allowing a fresh new start to come in. And I'll give you a great example of that. A friend of mine posted on Facebook how she was appalled and she was horrified because Spirit told her to close her Reiki practice, to close her NLP and her hypnotherapy practice because she's no longer to do. And she said, well, how will I put body and soul together? You know, I've had the practice for like 10 years now, and Spirit is telling me to shut it down. Well, many of us are getting these signs and these messages to halt what we have been doing, maybe even doing it for a long time, because we cannot step into what will be presented to us if we are still doing what we have done in the past. And as always, the Posse of Angels do not pull any punches, and they're alerting all of us to be on the lookout for ways that we are sabotaging our fresh new start. You know, like myself, you may be so excited to be presented with the manifestation of different opportunities and connections that will see you stepping into a very new life. But then the more you think about stepping into your dream life, the more it may be causing you to have great anxiety and doubt that it will ever happen. And you know, quite frankly, some of us have been waiting so long to see the physical, tangible manifestation of our dreams that we would be absolutely justified in thinking that it really may never happen. Many of my clients have spoken about feeling like they've been held back as they have been presented with so many instances over the past few years where it seemed like the universe was bringing people to us, important people, important opportunities that would have propelled us forward. And what eventuated was a very disappointing disconnect, and nothing much of anything happened. It might have seemed like our life was on hold, and our projects and endeavors were permanently stalled. So on one hand, we may think that our big break in our careers and projects may never happen, but you know what? What is even scarier for some is that it just might happen. We may think, what if the people and events do show up to propel me forward? What happens after I have visualized and prayed and believed in this new dream of mine? What if I am unable to do what I imagined and dreamed of doing? And what if I'm not up to the task of actually living it? It is this thought, whether conscious or unconsciously held within, that is not only scaring the heck out of many of us, it's causing us to sabotage ourselves and to start to backpedal. Now, in this month, I've heard of many instances where people have prayed and begged for the fulfillment of their prayers, and once they were received, they have sabotaged themselves from moving forward. For instance, a client of mine was having so much trouble financially keeping body and soul together these past few years, and she prayed for the universe to send her a steady position for her to easily pay her bills and also to do what she loves doing, which was being a Reiki practitioner. Now, several months later, she was offered the fulfillment of her wishes. She was offered a job in the caretaking industry, which carried a great deal of responsibility. And it even came with possibilities for her to use her alternative and holistic practices by employing Reiki. And although this was the answer to her prayers a mere few months ago, she told me before starting her job that she was so fearful about being able to take on a high level of responsibility that it was keeping her up at nights. And now, instead of experiencing joy, she was experiencing anxiety, worry, and fear, and she was actually thinking about not taking the job. Now, another example came from a client who had been praying and asking the universe to connect her with just the right people in the music industry to help her sign on her album. And when her prayers were answered by manifesting just that right person, she then started to question this producer's integrity of whether to sign with him. You know, her intuition told her full well to step forward, as he was honest and truthful. It was later revealed that her hesitation to step forward really had nothing to do with the producer's integrity. But because he was such a well-respected and well-known producer, her sabotage had everything to do with fearing that her music was not good enough to sign on with him, and that she feared that her music just did not measure up to his other successful artist albums that he had produced in the past. Now, the Posse of Angels wishes to ask all of us to ask ourselves, who am I to be successful? Who am I to be recognized and seen as an authority in my field? And no matter who you are, they will answer on our behalf. You are a child of God, and you are divine, and you have every right to shine and bring forth your abilities and your gifts. Just like the moon, the stars, and the sun, you were made manifest in God's brilliant radiance in order to shine brightly on the planet and not to diminish your brightness. Asking and pleading and begging and praying for the universe to fulfill our wishes has been a full-time job for many of us these past few years. We have visualized ourselves finally being able to be seen, to be perceived and heard, to be actually rewarded for our hard work and our dedication for our efforts to the light. But asking for something and receiving it are two very different things. And when our wish to be able to do that something is actually granted, well, it can cause us more headaches if we're not 100% committed to it wholeheartedly, with joy, with enthusiasm, and with great passion. Now, the Posse of Angels wishes to remind all of us that the collective has been given the possibility now to reside in higher fifth-dimensional energies, and we really need to reflect on what we previously wished for when we were residing in lower dimensional energies. This suggesting that many of our wishes were made for purely monetary gain, as so many of us were programmed to believe that more money would bring us happiness. Many of our former prayers were those which were fueled by ego. Wishes such as praying to get a coveted job position or to be catapulted to fame were made to show perhaps one's family, friends, or even one's ex that we were worthy of praise and recognition. Now, please do remember, if you're doing anything in order to seek revenge, or if you're doing anything to show others how worthy and deserving that you are, you're giving your power away, as you are already worthy and deserving, as this is your birthright as a divine, eternal being. You know, when it comes to reflecting on our desires, the Posse of Angels is asking us if we're coming from the purest place possible within us. You know, I've often asked my clients to reflect on their dreams, their desires, their wishes, and to ask themselves if they would do something regardless of the money, regardless of the fame, regardless of the recognition, regardless of any successes or rewards. The Posse of Angels already say, because we are children of God and we may have been made manifest in that illumination, we are already successful. You know, if we're doing this to be worthy and deserving, that this is already our birthright. And they want to make it clear to us that if they would solely be doing it, if we would solely be doing something because we love it, excited about it, we're passionate about putting our creativity to something and putting our unbridled joy into it by doing it. Another way to tune in to see if the dream that we prayed for and visualized ourselves doing makes us truly happy is to ask ourselves if, when we are doing it, we lose track of time, we get lost in it, and we just get so excited about launching ourselves into this wonderful ability that we have. Personally, I am like this with my writing. Writing is breathing for me, and I'm so excited and joyous to bring forth information that the channel is always open for me. My radio shows and my books all flow easily and gracefully for me, because writing is not merely what I do. Writing is who I am. When I'm doing it, I feel as if I'm home with God. It's that simple. When you have tapped into absolutely loving what you do, it can be a talent, it can be a gift, it can be an ability, it can be something which you just absolutely adore doing with no reservations, and when you do it with the enthusiasm of a child, then one's world grows exponentially grander and full of more wonder and enchantment to encompass and create opportunities to showcase all of your excitable energy. And the language of the universe, the language that the universe speaks, is high vibrational. It's excitable, enthusiastic, and passionate. And when you can tap into that, then the flow starts in your life. Well, the flow of positivity and wonderful things. And the Posse of Angels is reminding us that in these very new, higher dimensional frequencies, it doesn't matter who you are, we all get to choose what we love to do. But the caution here is not to go back to old ways of thinking, perhaps thinking that one does not have the certification or the skills to step forward. Remember that we are now able to work with the intangible and the unbelievable in the limitless possibilities of synchronicities, miracles, and magic. To help you align with your passion, put your emphasis on creativity, on playing, having fun. And the rest, as they say in Fifth Dimension, will look after itself. And just an aside here, please do not think that you can go back and do that which is outdated or outmoded for you. Like my dear friend posted on her Facebook page. I mean, for many, many years, she was a hypnotherapist. She was a Reiki practitioner. You know, she did intuitive counseling. She helped many, many people. But now Spirit is saying, it's time to shut that down. And she's frozen. She's frozen, and she wants to go back to doing what she did before. And we cannot go back. We have gotten to that stage in our shifting that we are ready to step in to that new way of being an example on the planet. And we don't even have to know what that is. All we need to do is keep our frequencies high and bright. I recently had a client come to me who had co-created a life of enabling and codependency through her abusive, lying past 2 marriages. She shared with me that as a child, both her mother and her father lied to her and shamed her to such an extent that she became shy, introverted, and shut down her communication when it came to explaining her needs to others. By disempowering herself, she drew others who controlled and manipulated her, and it was no surprise that all the men in her life were liars. When I asked her about her current relationship, she explained that she had been having a 2-year affair with a married man. And she cried that she was so sick and she was so tired of lying and hiding it. I asked her if she could manifest any relationship to herself, Would this be her ideal one? She said, of course not. I would want someone who's going to make me a priority. But that does not exist, as all men lie. I looked at her and I said, my husband does not lie, and I know many men in my life who do not lie. I told her that we experience in life that which is a direct reflection of our beliefs, and that we perpetuate and that we hold inside of ourselves. To fulfill her programming and belief that all men were liars, she sabotaged herself from having an honest relationship by having an affair with a married man. By lying to herself and accepting less than she so richly deserved, this client's life was filled with compromise. When I asked her about the affair, she actually said that it was crummy the way he always ran home to his wife. I told her that if we accept the crumbs of life, then we will have a crummy life. You know, everyone, when you are suddenly offered the fulfillment of your wishes in 2018, and the banquet of your prayers will be laid out in front of you, will you wait only to settle for the crumbs? Will you even take a back step and try to go back to what you did before? Or will you step forward and seize your just desserts? I know which one I will step forward to, and I will drink and I will eat to my heart's well-deserved desires. So know, please know, everyone, in the last, 2, 5, 10, even 10 plus years, that we have been following the light and following God's and the angels' signs to do things, that now is the time of rewards. All that we have done and all that we have stepped forward and all of those seeds will be shown to us, and how they are going to manifest and blossom in 2018. But of course, we needed to do the work first. You can't expect seeds to blossom when you haven't. You can't expect to go on your, as I said before, you can't expect to go on your international book tour if you haven't followed the signs and written the book before. You can't expect to be called to be a speaker if you haven't, put yourself out there and stepped forward when the angels have asked you to be on interviews or to blog or to YouTube or to put yourself out there. So please take note of how and if you are sabotaging yourself as you step into 2018. Now, before we go to the break, I'd like to address a call that I received on a program a few weeks ago that had all the hallmarks of someone choosing to sabotage themselves from experience a joyful, light-filled life. Now, a long-time listener called in, and when I asked him how his life was, he replied that it was, and in his words, he was living in hell. When I questioned why, he said that he didn't have friends, that he did not have money in his bank account, and that he did not have a job. What he did not know was how powerful a manifester that he truly is, because his words, I am in hell, were indeed a self-fulfilling prophecy, as his life was now a reflection of the energy behind that statement. When I asked him how long he had been living in his current place, he said 15 years. Well, my intuition told me that perhaps he was well overdue for a move. Perhaps by making a physical move, he could meet new people, be introduced to new opportunities and connections, and encounter new synchronicities to bring about the events to fulfill his being in hell, it seemed like the focus that he put on his dreams were either a thing of the past, had ceased to be given the importance and much needed focus in order for them to blossom and in order for them to flourish. The problem is that when it is the most crucial to fill oneself with joy, it's almost impossible to access happy thoughts in our darkest hour when we perceive that we are living in hell. When someone suggests to someone to reach for a happy thought and find something that will make them happy and stick to that, it's the last thing that someone who is in such deep emotional despair, it's the last thing they want to hear. So telling someone to be happy may be downright impossible for them to muster up. Well, the Posse of Angels and I know the importance of holding light. In fact, for our planet to move forward into the golden age of ascension, the light on the earth must be equal or in greater energy than the amount of darkness. I shared with this longtime listener that in order for things to change, he must increase his light within. My suggestion, which has helped so many over the last 14 years of my Angel Healing House practice, was for him to volunteer for somebody who was worse off and less fortunate. And there's always somebody less fortunate. By volunteering to read to the blind, feeding the homeless, spending a day a week with an elderly shut-in, by volunteering at a children's hospital, and playing games with terminally ill children, all of these would create an opportunity to create life, more light in his life. I love this quote by Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we receive. We make a life by what we give. My Angel Healing House radio program is going into its 7th year, and I've given away thousands of free readings on my program. And I feel so blessed to be able to offer listeners all kinds of clarity, direction, but most of all, I'm offering them hope for a brighter day. You know, the Posse of Angels and I are urging for you in 2018, step forward. Do not sabotage yourself. Fill yourself with light by doing what you love doing. And then the opportunities and connections will show up to share what you love doing and continue the cycle of bathing the world with more light. You have been listening to me, Claire Candy Hough, on Angel Healing House Radio. When we come back, we'll be taking those calls for free angel readings. See you soon.
Take your own journey with the angels with Claire Candy Hough's Heaven-Sent Guided Angel Meditation CD, letting go of concerns and living in the now. This beautiful CD walks listeners through practical exercises to help free them from the burdens, worries, and concerns of daily life.
Walking a quarter of the way across the bridge, you see a bright, emerald green light and sense a loving presence. This is Archangel Raphael's green healing energies, nourishing and revitalizing you. Take a moment now to bathe in this green healing light.
Giving you much more than just relaxation and stress release, this wonderfully narrated CD provides vivid visualization, soothing and inspiring music, and an angel's choir that will bring you peace, clarity, and a newfound awareness. Visit angelhealinghouse.com today. To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Hough, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Everyone, you're back with me, Claire Candy Hough, on Angel Healing House Radio. And today we've been speaking about how if we are sabotaging our fresh new start in 2018. So many of us start every year with, if you want to call them, New Year's resolutions, with intentions, with our dreams. This year, I'm going to exercise more. This year, I'm going to have a green drink every day. This year, I'm going to, and you can fill in the blanks. And as January has gone on, the Posse of Angels has noticed that many people have started to backpedal, taking a step back and thinking, well, I prayed for this to happen, but oh my gosh, if this happens, will I be up to the task of doing it? I often say that if we're presented with something, it already means that we have all the wherewithal to be able to do it. Now, I decided before we take those callers, I'm going to pull a card, and I shuffled during the break, for a spirit animal to come in and help us today. And the card that I chose was the wren. Isn't he beautiful? Little wren has a feather in his mouth. And he's flown in today to give us a few meanings on what he is chirping about. The wren allows us to glimpse the beauty of ourselves in all things. He tells us that we are beautiful, and also the seemingly small things in life are just as beautiful as the big things, and that self-realization lies not in the grandiose or in power, but in humility, in gentleness, and subtlety. So that's really important, that we understand that what we're asking for is not to, have our power over somebody as a superior thing, but it's only to lead by example in a very gentle and very kind and compassionate way. Excuse me. Now, I was drawn to the reverse of this card as we're talking about sabotage, and it said this could indicate that you need to look at whether your humility and gentleness actually render you invisible to others. Are they your way of defending yourself from life? Perhaps you also need to look at how you're using your native wit. It's easy for the habit of building on the work of others to become a dishonest exploitation of others' achievements. Remember that the story of the wren and the eagle can be interpreted in a way that sees the wren as a cheeky upstart who naively believes he can fool others. But it is our gentle, our kind nature that will see us being that best example, that best light for others. So take that to heart. We may be just one individual, but we provide a very important, integral puzzle piece of the planet in order to, for the whole of the collective to work. So think of that when you're perhaps getting a bit fearful of stepping forward into your wishes and your desires in 2018. Let's go to our first caller. Let's go to Stephanie in New York. Stephanie, you're online with Angel Healing House Radio. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I've just been very tired lately, and, I'm still bleeding a lot, like every day. Not always a lot, sometimes less. And I've been, but other times I'm really energized. And I had this amazing day yesterday, which was very energizing. So while I was out, I had an acupuncture appointment, and the woman I get acupuncture from was like, oh, she was just saying all these really nice things to me and how much she loves me and my energy and wishes I could be there every day. And then she was like, I think we might need a receptionist. Would you like to do that? And I have been wanting a job but I wasn't sure if that was really, if that was the right thing for me. And I have been feeling, because I still go to the cancer support places for art classes and things like that, which normally bring me joy, but lately I've been sort of feeling like not the same energy from it.
Okay.
And so I was wondering, sort of what they thought and if I should be like more concerned about my health or if I should just, if, I start working or doing something. I don't know. I feel like I should stop talking now. But.
Okay. They actually like this opportunity that you've been given. They say your health, it will actually help your health improve. You have such a beautiful nature. You have such lovely energies. I have seen the arc of your spiritual growth in the last 2 years, and you've transformed and transmuted so many things, Steph, that now you will be put in a position where you will just glow. You'll glow as that receptionist, and you'll directly and indirectly help people to have a beautiful day and provide kind words. And they absolutely love this. And they said it was necessary for you to do all those other things as well. But remember that when we're presented with something, it's not that it's right or wrong. This would be of great benefit for you. And they like this very much. And they're also saying that nothing is forever. And they're saying things come in for us where we energetically are. Like during the readout, I was stating about this friend of mine who has the hypnotherapy and Reiki practice and NLP and all these wonderful ways that she's helped people, for many, many years. And now Spirit is saying, now you need to close this down because what's going to be presented to her. I know that she's a writer. I know that she's a lovely speaker. And so, if she was so busy in her practice, she could presumably not be able to step into these new things that are going to be offering to her. But your greatest barometer in whether you should take this or not, there's no shoulds, but is the first time you heard it was that you were tickled. You thought, wow, that feels good. And that's the only barometer you need to know. Okay, so let's go to the cards and see what comes out. I get a really good feeling about it. The Posse of Angels get a great feeling about it as well. Okay, let me go to the cards.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because my concern was then I wouldn't be able to keep up with, some of the appointments I have or, really focus on the health stuff. But I have been wanting to work and I've been feeling kind of empty or lost or stuck. And, and I thought maybe I could end up using this space for clients too at some point or something.
Oh, yes.
But I was happy.
Yes, absolutely, of course. Oh, and just before we get to the cards, you had mentioned about feeling exhausted and really tired. This month of January 1st, opened with this huge, huge portal of energy to help us to shift anything. And a lot of those ascension and shifting symptoms were mirroring flu and cold symptoms, aches and chills and sore throats. And I'm not saying you didn't have those people out there didn't have a virus or a bacteria, but I'm saying that many of the ascension symptoms that we were experiencing from this onslaught of this huge, huge portal of energy mirrored those same things, same symptoms of the flu and the cold. And one of those things that many of us experienced was extreme fatigue and extreme tiredness. Just being so weary. And it wasn't like it was a block of time like 1 week. I've noticed that as well in January, that it's fluctuating. There are some days where it's huge, where you just could keep on sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. And there are other days where where did it go? I actually had enough puff and enough energy yesterday to actually do Pilates and to get through an hour of exercise. So be kind to yourself and don't put too much pressure on yourself, especially in this month of January, because there's so many different energetic shifts that are going on. And we need these, Stephanie, and everyone else, we need these because of when we step forward into the fulfillment of our dreams or our wishes and intentions, we want to make sure that we're squeaky clean, we don't drag anything from the past in to muddy up our new connections and opportunities, and we don't want anything to make us feel like we are less than, or we don't have the energy to do what we are stepping into. So let's go to the cards and see what comes out for you. The first card.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was worried. So thank you for saying that.
Okay. The first card is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, I love the Queen of Pentacles card. She's often shown in a beautiful garden. This is a queen that doesn't push things. She knows her worth. She knows she's priceless. She knows her value, and she's very down to earth. So in this situation, you've drawn this wonderful opportunity to yourself where you can just be yourself. Yes, you'll be providing a service, but on top of that, the energy of knowing your value and knowing your worth will then translate to those energies helping other people as well. Because so many hairdressers and therapists and or not therapists, but hairdressers and those in the service industry are constantly listening, acknowledging people, just making their day a little brighter by saying hello, sharing a joke, how are you today, inquiring in our fast-paced world, inquiring, how are you today? And if you're there for a longer time, you find out about their family or their children, and then you help connect. You'll be a wonderful connector. The Seven of Pentacles, and then more abundance comes in. The Seven of Pentacles, you will then be able to use a lot of what you have learned to translate that to others in direct and indirect ways. And the next card is the Three of Pentacles. And all of them are pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about being recognized and sometimes promoted for your skills and your talents. And so this is a wonderful indicator that this will bring you great abundance and that it is tailor-made for you. So I hope that's been helpful.
It's been very helpful. Thank you. You put a big smile on my face.
How wonderful.
Thank you. And I'm not sure what the different suites, I don't know if that's the right word, means. So because they're all pentacles, and what do the pentacles represent?
Oh, the pentacles represent abundance, wealth, riches, money. But remember, they also represent the earth, out of the cups are water, and the wands, the swords are air, the wands are fire, and the pentacles are earth. So it's about grounding our desires, and so it doesn't always mean financial. It doesn't always mean money. It could be this job, it's going to pay you, but you're going to get an abundance of feeling happy and recognized, and it's going to increase your abundance within. So that's a lot of times what the pentacles mean.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to explain that. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Have a lovely day, Stephanie, and keep us apprised of what is going on.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You are listening to me, Claire Candy Hough on Angel Healing House Radio. If you want to call in for a free angel reading, you can always call in on 1-800-930-2819. We do a caller next on the line. I thought to draw some cards in relation, particularly in regard to what we've been speaking about sabotaging ourselves in as we step forward into 2018. Because, like I said, as scary as it is to have our intentions and wishes and dreams and think to ourselves, well, how about if they never, get fully realized? A lot of people are very scared to think that their dreams will come true because in many respects, we will have to have more responsibility. I mean, if you are honored and respected and valued as an authority in your field, then you will have to step up. You will have to step up and then be that authority. And a lot of people are scared by that. So let's go to the cards and see what comes out for all of us. Now, this is a general reading. If you'd like to call in, call Angel Healing House for a reading. You can call an angel reading. You can call 831-277-3716, and that is an individualized reading for you for 2018. The first card that comes out for us is the lovely Knight of Cups. And I'm not surprised. Knight of Cups is about a proposal. Now, it doesn't always have to be a proposal of love. It can be a proposal, a business proposal. It could be a proposal like Stephanie, the woman said, I love your energies. We have an opening for a receptionist here. And so many businesses are greatly enhanced if the first person you meet has a smile on their face, has a lovely energy. So anyway, this Knight of Cups. Sorry, the Knight of Cups is the proposal card that many of us, as we go into 2018, and by the way, the Posse of Angels is saying March and April are going to be doozies for the collective to see what manifests as a result of the seeds that we have planted before. So that's the first card. I love this card with the Knight of Cups flying, and there's that beautiful bluebird of happiness. Bluebird of happiness and the red rose. The red is the color of taking action, of power. And the Posse of Angels are reminding all of us that if you are presented with something in 2018, it's because you already have all the skills to be able to do it. Yeah, you might have to learn a little bit about a different industry, but you'll be able to sail through it and you'll be able to do it. Just like Stephanie stepping up into her receptionist job. Yes, there'll be different details and things that she'll have to learn, but she will be able to do that. The next card comes with a new beginning for all of us, and that's the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords the swords are about clarity, about mental clarity, and the Posse of Angels are saying, just like this shard of ice, many of us have felt like we have been frozen for a very long time. We have. Many of us have written the books. Many of us have done the blogs, done the YouTubes, done the periscopes. We've put ourselves out there. We've done the interviews. We've done lots of things. And now it's time for the thaw to happen in order for those opportunities and connections to manifest on the physical plane in order for us to step forward and to be that example. So that's a wonderful card too. So we've got that Knight of Cups bringing us the proposal that will start to melt, all of those things that seem to be permanently stalled. The next card that's coming in for us is, I'm not surprised. In this card, it's called the Seeress, but it is the High Priestess. Now, this is the card of people that other people turn to for spiritual counseling, for mentoring, for ancient spiritual knowledge, and the wisdom to create a world of unity and peace and love and acceptance. And this will be the opportunity for us to step into that role of being a high priestess, or it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. So 3 beautiful cards that are confirmation of what we were speaking about today. And to just end that reading for all of us about the proposal, about thawing what seems to be stalled in our lives for us to step up as that high priestess, I will draw from my very lovely Oracle of E. This is the booklet by Pam Grout and Colette Baron Reed. And I love these cards because they're very succinct. And they just hit the nail on the head every time, it seems. Okay, so I'm asking the Posse of Angels. Posse of Angels, give us a card which will help us with some direction in stepping forward into 2018. Okay, one more. Okay, and cut the cards and see what lovely card comes out for all of us. The F word. Oh no. 3, well, it's a 30 card, which is a 3 card. 3 is wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, miracles happen. So let's see what the F card is all about. This is a G-rated radio show. The F word. Nobody likes the F word. But God sees forgiveness through a different pair of glasses. He knows that everything is going to turn out just fine in the end. And that holding on to negativity, holding on to outdated things is just postponing the inevitable. Your success, listeners, is a done deal. Your bliss is gonna happen if you just get out of your own way in 2018. The F word is the place to start. Let it go. Forgive, forget. Turn your sights to 2018 and follow that yellow brick road and allow yourself to have fun. And that F word is probably the most important F word that we could possibly use and utilize in our life. So, wow, it's pretty succinct reading for all of us, and have fun with it. And let us know. Let myself and the Posse of Angels know what unfolds for you as we move into February. And that just about wraps the show up for today. Thank you to all my listeners. Thank you, Stephanie, for calling in. Thank you to all of you who support Angel Healing House Radio and Angel Healing House. If you'd like to look up some of those books that I've written, Angels of Faith, One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and of course, my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, please go to the Angel Healing House website, www.angelhealinghouse.com, or you can call 831-277-3716. And like always, please do allow your radiant light to shine forth on the planet. Be the most shiny, radiant light that you possibly can be as an example for others to turn on their light and go out and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Love and, as always, angel blessings. And I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Take care. Bye.